Hello and welcome back to Urban Yoke. My name is Giulia, and as always, I am delighted to have you here. So, my previous video was about pain therapy, and it was a while ago. um, yeah, it's taken me a little while to make a video again because of various reasons. And those of you who have chronic pain or chronic illnesses or general or chronic procrastination issues, you probably know exactly how I feel. But yeah, so I would like to do regular videos, but honestly, they're gonna come out when they come out, and I just want to share my story, my thoughts, and I hope you enjoy. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. So, I wanted to talk a bit about eating for comfort. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's eating for comfort, as in just to feel physically comfortable. So you don't get bloated, you don't get nauseous, whatever the reaction is that you are trying to avoid. And that's, generally eating well or well enough for your body to accept it. Then there's eating for comfort because you are sad and you need something to make you feel better. I am a comfort eater for sure. I know many people who are. I know some people who do other things. But I do think it is very common, particularly in a space where movement is not always possible. So you seek comfort in things that are nearby and fulfill that need for pleasure, for happiness. Sorry, my throat's a bit scratchy today. And then there's eating for comfort, just to enjoy life, having a dinner with friends, someone special in your life. These are the things, right? The things that I think about when it comes to food. And I have those three areas where I do indulge sometimes, but also try to keep it balanced, modesty. Everything is best in their appropriate portions, right? At least that's how I feel about it. So what I've been thinking about is something someone asked recently concerning diet and chronic pain and having syringomyelia. So I don't think that this is a kind of situation where it's, one diet fits all. I never believe in one diet fits all. We all have our tiny quirks that we have to abide by, be it likes or reactions and so on. For me, I get bloated quite a lot and quite easily from a lot of things, so it's kind of just balanced. I get really dizzy if there's too much salt in the food, and it also depends on what type of salt it is. If we're talking about soy, I can handle a little bit more. Iodized salt, not so much, and so on. So I keep an eye on my salt intake, on my sugar intake, and I like to eat food that makes me feel comfortable. And sometimes that food is just fruit. Not often. I struggle to eat fruit just because the habit has been difficult to form over the years, and that is a problem I have. Other than that, it's also the portion, right? So I try to eat foods that are high in anti-inflammatory properties. I also eat foods with strong flavors, like a lot of ginger, a lot of garlic, and a lot of chili. So for me, chili, peppers are my main source of vitamin C. That's something that started as a child, and I really, really love chili. It makes me feel good. I feel really comfortable inside when I eat a lot of chili, and that's not true for most people. But there will be things that make you feel comfortable. For me, it's chili and other spices. Heavily spiced food makes a huge difference to me compared to eating more bland food. And I found that it helps me regulate my pain a bit better because I also have a lot less discomfort going on in my tummy, or I'm just feeling very good and more capable of confronting the pain of the day, right? And that's what it is about for me. I, over the years, devised things that I really enjoy eating and also make me feel good. So I have the category of things I enjoy and things that make me feel good, and I tend to enjoy them if they make me feel good. But there are things that I enjoy that do not make me feel good, and I try to have those in moderation. And that's kind of like, I guess, like fizzy drinks is there. I enjoy having fizzy drinks around, particularly with the nausea. It does make me feel good, but at the same time, it's not really good for you. So we try and keep that limited. And chocolates, I really enjoy chocolate, particularly the darker chocolates, but we try and keep that under wraps as well, and chips and whatever else. And a lot of meat and whatever can contribute to like the high cholesterol kind of thing. But I also really enjoy eating eggs, for example, and I could eat a lot of eggs. And sometimes I go through I don't want to be around eggs kind of stage, but for the most part I do, and that I kind of also have to keep under wraps because you just end up eating too much egg. But egg is a great source of vitamin D usually, and so is milk, and I really love milk, and I love chocolate milk and hot chocolate, so I try and keep that under wraps too. And then there's things that I don't particularly like to eat, but they are good for you. Fruit tends to fall under that category where I really enjoy fruit, many fruits, but a lot of them I do struggle with the texture, and I did not develop the habit of really eating fruit as a child or as an adult, and it's been a struggle, but I'm trying with that. So that's that category of eating for comfort, right? Eating to make your body feel comforted. Then it has these subcategories, and that's how I see it. I'd be interested to know how you manage food in that regard. How does it help you feel better? Yeah. Because like this dish that I'm making is, let's say, a sweet and sour inspired dish using pineapple, and then kind of caramelize the pineapple and create a sauce, with tomato sauce, also called ketchup, and then like soy and whatever else I put in there to make it, but honey, and fry it up with the chicken and serve with rice. It's delicious. I absolutely love it, and it's slightly different each time depending on what you have available in the house and the pineapple and so on. I don't normally use the fresh pineapple, but strangely enough, it's all the store had. I guess not strangely enough. This is Italy after all. Finding pineapple in the shop is probably not going to happen all that often. Anyhow, so it's like this dish, I find something that is to some degree nourishing, but not necessarily the absolute healthiest because of the amount of sugar that is in it or sweetness that is in it. But it's still very comforting, makes you feel good. You're still getting a good amount of food in, like of various things, the starches from the rice and the protein from the chicken and the acids from the pineapple and so on. So you are getting some stuff in, and it's this in between, right? It's a meal, but it's also a slightly naughty meal. And I think there's a lot of comfort in that, because I was also feeling kind of sad at this time, and making this kind of dish fulfilled a need to want to have a full meal and not just chocolate, but also have something that I found extremely comforting. And I talk a lot in my chicken and rice video about feeling comforted and having a deep relationship with rice and chicken and why it makes me feel comfortable. And this is a variation on that. Again, sorry, my throat's a bit scratchy. So yes, that's kind of there. And then going into eating for sadness, which is where this goes. This is what this dish is. It encompasses all three categories. And for sadness, it depends on the sadness. What is the origin of the sadness? Is it true sadness, as in something happened that made me sad? because that generally takes more processing time, and there I tend to let go a lot. I eat what's going to comfort me, and I do what's going to comfort me. So I find myself deeply motivated to just fulfill that need of pleasure and taking away that sadness for a moment, so I have space to process it. Or is that sadness coming from like a hormonal place? Being a woman, I tend to have episodes of hormonal sadness, though it does not account for the majority of it. It does happen. So in those cases, it's really just allowing the sadness to be, right? You're kind of like, okay, it's going to flow, so I can do a half thing. And this is what the sweet and sour dish is in that regard as well. I said that a lot in this video. It is fulfilling that sadness that is in some way hollow, though it brings up thoughts of things that are real and happening in my life, and I'm sure it does for other people. There is a hollowness to it, there is a void to it, so it's more about letting it pass. And so you kind of just have that in-between kind of meal and have a relaxing night and try to take the edge off by playing a game, and then just letting it pass, and usually things are okay. Or is that sadness coming from thinking about the chronic pain and having the condition and where life is going? Because that takes its toll sometimes as well. I think for many people, no matter what body you have, so how able-bodied you are, there is this thought of, am I going to be okay when I'm older? And I think those of us with chronic pain, it tends to be a little bit more in your face. I know with other people who have syringomyelia or Chiari or MS, it's very much in your face. You know, you're constantly reminded of the challenges ahead. And sometimes that sadness takes its toll, and that also, in a way, is a sadness that needs to pass. It's not about processing. It's just about acknowledging and realizing that you need to coexist with the sadness and the happiness and the joy that you have in your life, because you are living both lives. And giving it space to breathe and do what it needs to do. And even there, I would kind of make an in-between meal or a really nice, healthy meal. It makes everyone in the family happy, because that brings me a lot of joy as well. And then eating like a little dessert, or having a hot toddy, something like that. It's just really comforting in those moments, and making sure I get to sleep. So each kind of category of eating for comfort has like 3 subcategories, and this is how my mind works and how I decide what to cook when. I try to apply this to my family as well, to see where they are and what kind of dish they might need. What are they feeling today, and how does that translate into the food of the day? And bringing a balance to all of that it's truly satisfying, and I think it brings them joy as well, that I try to do it. I'm not always aware of my surroundings, aware of my space, and I want to be more aware of their spaces. But I guess that's also me just being a little harsh on myself. So yes, it's that balance. And for me, like I said, that brings me a lot of joy. And it might not be the same for you. Cooking is not the same for everybody. But knowing how to approach food, or the person that is making the food, if you aren't, to say this is really what I'm kind of feeling today, and I really would like to try and eat this way and see if it helps. Give it a try, and if it doesn't, you can try something else and find the balance that works for you. So that's kind of me eating. Sorry, got a little soft there. That's kind of me eating for comfort in that way. Is that sadness? Just understanding where it comes from, so I know how to approach it with what dish. Like I said, chili for me is a huge thing. So no matter what mood I'm in, chili usually makes me feel better. I really like it. My body really likes it. And I do feel agitated when I go for long periods without eating chili or spiced food. I think it helps regulate a lot of things in my body, and many of spices have anti-inflammatory properties which help a lot. I also try and avoid eating a lot of food that aggravates my chronic bronchitis. So ice cream is one of those things. There are certain brands that are better than others just because. And chocolate's the same thing. So I don't want to aggravate that, because if I aggravate that, then I'll end up coughing a lot and aggravates nausea and so on. It's not great. But, I do have fond memories of eating a lot of ice cream as a child when the opportunity arose. And that's very cool. I feel very grateful and privileged to have had that. So, yeah, that's that part of it. Then, we've got the last category of eating for comfort, and that's kind of the nourishing the nourishing the soul and eating with people you care about and you love. For me, in this place, in this space, cooking for the people I truly love and care about is the important aspect of it. I get to prepare a meal that makes them feel good, makes them feel better, makes them feel kind of wholesome in a way. That is what brings me that fulfillment of being together, or going to a really nice restaurant and having a chat and sharing a moment over a glass of wine, sharing a moment over a beer, sharing our thoughts on pizza, though they may be different, really bringing life to the food, giving it a memory. Knowing that smell, that odor will always linger in your mind, and it will trigger the thought of those beautiful moments you've had with someone you care about. Like eating with my husband, something I truly love. It can be, a silly drive-in or drive-through. It can be some crazy place we saw on the side of the road in the middle of the desert somewhere. It could be at a fanciest restaurant in Rome. It's always eating with him. It's always enjoying the experience with him. And so the food is more of a conduit of the comfort within the soul, within the mind, within our bodies. To me, there is very little more beautiful than that. And I get to share that with, my husband and my daughter regularly, because I get to work from home. I wish everyone else who has to experience these kinds of conditions have the opportunity to work from home enough to be able to spend time with their family, rest, and still bring in enough money to support themselves and their family. But it's not possible for many of us. So, I wear the badge well, in that I understand that I'm privileged, and I really, really love that aspect of it, and I do everything I can to hold on to it. So I just want to say it, though, to not make people feel bad. I want to say it to inspire people, because I didn't get here just because it was about finding a way to live where I was able to still contribute to society, contribute to my life, feel like I'm in somewhat control of it, while having a condition that really has a mind of its own. And I want to inspire people to rethink and reevaluate their lives, and one way of doing that is with your diet. It took me years of trial and error to find a way of eating that really suits me. And it's not one culture, it's not one cuisine, it is quite a mix, and this way I also get to experience so many different foods and flavors by trying these different dishes and incorporating aspects or incorporating the dish itself into the general cooking, and having something simple and elegant that can be totally different each time, like a chicken and rice dish. And yeah, so eating for comfort is not just about eating in a way that makes you feel happy in that moment. There are different ways to feel happy with food. And then it's about changing your life and feeling inspired and doing things that make you feel good. Because it happens with small changes. The way forward with a condition like this is small changes. Remember, I've been working on this for a long time and finding ways to live when I wasn't diagnosed yet, and already noticing these changes and these differences and how they help the pain. So I hope this has inspired you to do that and look at your diet and truly examine it. And let me know in the comments what you've done, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.